Attention passionate Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle, SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL offseason and trade deadline are always filled with surprises, but this year, the buzz around the Seattle Seahawks is reaching a new level of intensity. Rumors are swirling that the Seahawks are eyeing a major move that could reshape their offense for the upcoming season, and one of the central figures in this potential shakeup is none other than the New Orleans Saints wide receiver, Michael Thomas. Yes, you heard that right. The Seahawks, a team known for their innovative offense and strategic moves, are reportedly considering acquiring Thomas, who is currently valued at a hefty $19 million. This isn't just a casual rumor, it's a potential game-changer that could have ripple effects across the NFC West and the entire league. Now, you might be wondering, what makes Michael Thomas such a hot commodity? Well, first, let's talk about his reputation. When healthy, Thomas has proven time and again that he's one of the most reliable and skilled receivers in the NFL. He's got a knack for running precise routes, making contested catches, and providing that security blanket for quarterbacks. Remember, Thomas was the NFL Offensive Player of the Year back in 2019, and during his prime, he was unstoppable. Despite recent injuries that have limited his playing time, something he's been battling over the past couple of seasons, when he's on the field, he looks just as dominant as ever. His route running is second to none, and his ability to create separation even in tight coverage makes him a valuable asset for any team looking to elevate their passing game. So why would the Saints consider trading him now? Well, the reality of the NFL is that teams are constantly reevaluating their rosters, especially when facing salary cap constraints. The Saints, a franchise with a rich history and an eye on returning to playoff contention, are at a crossroads. They've got a talented roster, but their cap space is tight. Trading Thomas could be a strategic move to free up significant cap room, allowing them to address other areas of need or to build more depth around their young quarterback or emerging talent. It's a tough decision because losing a player of Thomas's caliber isn't easy, but sometimes the financial realities force teams to make difficult choices. On the other side, the Seahawks are always looking for ways to boost their offense. Whether it's adding a proven veteran or finding a reliable target for their quarterback, they don't shy away from making bold moves. Bringing in Michael Thomas would be a statement that they are all in this season, aiming for deep playoff runs and possibly a Super Bowl appearance. The Seahawks have been steadily building a competitive roster, especially with their offensive line and skill position players, but adding a receiver of Thomas's caliber could take their passing game to an entirely new level. Now, it's important to highlight the potential fit. The Seahawks offense has been evolving under head coach Pete Carroll and offensive coordinator Shane Waldron. They've shown a willingness to adapt and incorporate versatile players who can produce in multiple roles. Thomas, with his precise route running and reliable hands, could slot in perfectly as a primary or secondary target, depending on how the team wants to deploy him. His experience and leadership in the locker room could also provide an intangible boost, especially for younger receivers looking to learn from one of the best. But of course, there are hurdles. The $19 million price tag attached to Thomas's contract is no small figure. For the Seahawks, managing their salary cap while trying to integrate a player with such a significant cap hit will require meticulous planning. They'd need to evaluate whether they can absorb the financial commitment without compromising other key areas of their roster. Plus, they would want to ensure that Thomas's style of play meshes well with their offensive scheme and that he can recover fully from his injury history to deliver consistent production. Meanwhile, the Saints, facing their own set of challenges, will weigh the benefits against the risks. Losing Thomas could create a void in their receiving core, especially considering his previous impact when healthy. They might also be looking at the bigger picture. Perhaps this move is part of a broader rebuild or retooling effort. The Saints have always been a team that values versatility and resilience, But in the NFL, sometimes financial strategy takes precedence over sentimentality. As the trade deadline approaches, both teams will be under pressure to make decisions that could influence their seasons. For the Seahawks, acquiring Thomas could be the missing piece that propels them into serious Super Bowl contention. For the Saints, trading him might be a move to build for the future, clearing cap space and reevaluating their roster construction. This potential trade is more than just about players. It's about strategic shifts in the NFC West and the broader NFC landscape. The Seahawks, with their recent draft picks and the development of players like DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, are looking to solidify their offensive core. Adding Thomas could create a nightmare matchup for defenses, forcing opponents to double-team him and opening up space for their other playmakers. This kind of diversification in their passing attack could be precisely what they need to take the next step. On the other hand, the Saints would need to consider how to replace Thomas's production. They have some emerging talents, but losing a player of his caliber could hurt their offensive identity. It's a classic case of weighing short-term gains versus long-term strategy. The Saints have a rich history of making bold moves, and whether they decide to trade Thomas or keep him will be a hot topic among fans and analysts alike. Let's not forget the bigger picture. The NFC itself is highly competitive this year, with teams like the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys vying for supremacy. The Seahawks are pushing hard for a deep postseason run, and adding someone like Thomas could be the spark they need to differentiate themselves from other contenders. It's the kind of move that could shift the balance of power, especially if Thomas can stay healthy and regain his top form. For fans of the Seahawks, this news stirs a mix of excitement and anticipation. It's always thrilling to think about the possibilities, seeing a proven veteran like Thomas lining up alongside Metcalf, Lockett, and a talented quarterback in Geno Smith. Imagine the fireworks on offense, the matchup nightmares, and the new dynamics that could unfold. But of course, nothing is certain until the trade is announced, and both teams have to carefully consider the impact on their long-term plans. There's also the aspect of team chemistry and locker room dynamics. Adding a player of Thomas's stature can be a boost in confidence, but it also requires seamless integration. Pete Carroll and his coaching staff will have to evaluate whether Thomas's personality and style fit into their culture. Remember, the Seahawks have built a reputation for a strong, cohesive team that plays with grit and resilience, and any addition must complement that identity. As fans, we're naturally eager to see how this story unfolds. Will the Seahawks pull the trigger and bring Thomas into the fold? Or will they look elsewhere in the market? Either way, the implications are massive, and this could be a defining moment of the NFL season for the Seahawks. The next few days will be crucial, and we'll be monitoring every development, every rumor, and every confirmation as the deadline approaches. Of course, it's also worth mentioning that the NFL trade deadline often brings surprises, some unexpected, some anticipated. Teams are always looking to improve, and sometimes the best moves come from bold, decisive decisions. For the Seahawks, acquiring Michael Thomas could be a statement that they're all in, that they're serious about contending now and not just building for the future. And for the Saints, it might be a strategic move to reset and prepare for a new chapter. So, as we keep an eye on this unfolding story, remember that the NFL is a game of inches, decisions, and timing. Whether this trade happens or not, one thing is for sure. The Seahawks are making moves, and they're not afraid to shake things up to chase that elusive Super Bowl trophy. Fans, buckle up because this offseason might just turn into one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we'll be right here with you, breaking down every update, every twist, and every turn. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think it's the move that could finally push Seattle over the top? Or do you believe losing Thomas would leave a gap that's hard to fill? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. Remember, this is your channel, your community, and we love engaging with all of you. Keep the passion alive and stay tuned, because I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and inside info on everything happening with your Seattle Seahawks. This season promises to be one of the most exciting yet, and we're all in this together. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Seahawks.